Derek,
Hey,
good to
what's
see you,
happening,
man.
Jacob? Good to see
Thought
you,
I should
buddy.
be dancing at the start of the Daily Bet Show in honor of Shane, who's not here today. But for all of those who don't know, you're listening to the PHNX Daily Bet Show presented by the one and only, the most amazing, the most incredible DraftKings Sportsbook. Download today using code PHNX. And all you got to do, put $1 down on any NFL game and get $100 in free bets if either team scores a point. And I think this wild stat was pointed out to me by Greg Esposito, the man behind the Mac over there. There has not been a scoreless NFL game since, was it 1943?
1943.
1943.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's a long time.
So we're talking Thursday night football. Of course, we talk football on the show all the time. Thursday night football is actually a barn burner this week. Most of the games over the course of the season on Thursday night have been bad. I think last week it was like Bengals, Jaguars. We're finally getting a good NFL matchup on a lovely Thursday night in Arizona, but the game's in Seattle, but the weather here is great. I just have to point that out.
Oh, yeah. Rub it in everybody's face as far as the weather. This is that time of year.
Yeah, I do not think this game will be scoreless, Derek.
No, I don't think so. These are pretty good offenses as far as what they're ranked in points per game in the NFL. I do agree with you. I think Thursday night games historically have always sucked. So it's kind of weird that is a thing since it's a featured night, right? We're talking about a single night where a marquee matchup could be featured on this, weekly game. And instead they kind of at times use it as a throwaway game on the schedule.
Right.
I don't know. This one I'm excited about, though. This one has huge implications for the Cardinals. Plus, like you said, this is going to be a shootout. The Seattle Seahawks are 10th in the NFL in points scored at 25.8, and the Rams are 6th in NFL for points per game at 28.8. So both teams prolific offenses and terrible defenses. Neither one.
Russell Wilson and Matt Stafford are both about to have a field day. If I could take a guess as to where I think the over under is set at 53.5.
Yeah.
I think I would be pretty confident hitting the over on that one. That just seems like a no-brainer over under for me. But the line, I believe, is Rams -2 on the road, so they're a road favorite.
Yeah.
I know you included this in your parlay, but I think the Rams are looking for a little redemption this week after the Cardinals kind of handed it to them last week.
Yeah.
I know that defense hasn't looked great. The Seahawks are coming off a win against division rival 49ers, but the line is still pretty slim, pretty close, pretty tight. So I really don't think that this game will end up being a blowout either. Like they're both going to score a lot of points.
Yeah, I agree with that a lot. I think the Rams, with the Super Bowl aspirations that they have and everything else, they can't lose 2 in a row to division teams. It's just not something that they can do. I believe strongly in the Rams in this game because of the reasons that you just said. I think mostly getting punched in the mouth by the Cardinals the way they did, they're not going to allow that to happen again, especially Sean McVay and his ability to adapt and to coach that team. So I still believe strongly in the Rams winning this game, which is why that 2-point spread seems, again, a little bit like a no-brainer, like the over, but who knows? It's football and nothing's guaranteed. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something crazy happen.
Yeah. There's another stat that was kind of thrown at me by typical host of the Bet Show, Shane. He actually put it in the text of our Twitter post today. Russell Wilson is 9-1 on Thursday night primetime football.
Oof.
So like that spread is Rams -2, but Russell Wilson is 9. It is Russell Wilson, right? Like he does this all the time. Like he does this thing where he just kind of never looks bad. Like he does from time to time, but I just feel like he never really loses the game himself.
And the thing is that the Rams seem to not be able to figure out Kyler Murray, right? And you could say that Murray and Wilson are very similar in their skill set, their mobility. And if anything, Wilson is obviously a much more seasoned vet and much better at that stuff probably than Murray is, at least as far as, his experience as an NFL quarterback. I still think that Murray is more athletic and more gifted as far as his talents are concerned. You just can't deny what Wilson has done in his career and consistently done. He's not a guy that we see shy away from big games like this, and this is a huge game for Seattle.
Right. I think the game changer for this, it really will be Seattle's offensive line. They've always had question marks there, and you get Aaron Donald against a very questionable offensive line, and you might have yourself a really bad night. Like you said, Russ is mobile. I think sometimes his athleticism isn't as touted as Kyler's is. So, like,
Yeah, I
I
agree with
think,
that.
you know, he is mobile, yes. And we'll get into that is one of my picks a little later, but he is mobile. It does help, but, you know, getting away from Aaron Donald's just so fast.
Yeah.
You have to be athletic to get out of this way. Have you made quite a bit of money on DraftKings since we started?
I absolutely have, and I have no idea what I'm doing at times. So I just say that because if you're for any reason, if you're worried or you don't feel like you have the skill set about
But
it,
trust Derek. Don't worry. Trust Derek.
Look at this idiot right here. I made at one point, like, I was up like $1,400. And that's being completely honest. A lot of that was the fact that DraftKings has so many great offers out there. A lot of them were no-brainer bets. DraftKings Sportsbook, obviously the official sports betting partner of the NFL, they have a new offer every week that you can jump on if you're doing this for the first time. New customers right now, like you said earlier, can bet just $1 on any NFL game and win $100 in free bets if either team scores a point. And all you got to do is use our code of PHNX when you're signing up on DraftKings Sportsbook. And I mean, I don't know. I know we're going to talk about the parlays and stuff, but I have actually had a lot of fun with the same game parlays.
Same game parlays are great.
Yeah, you could just go in and you can select different options. Like I said, my parlay that I'm going to talk about here in a minute is a little bit more on the conservative side. So as far as things you can do, you can swing wild. You can go for crazy stuff that you think might hit. Sometimes I like to pair a couple of conservative bets with something that's kind of crazy.
Boost your odds. It boosts your odds. It's like if you think that, you know, if you're like us and you think you know what you're talking about, you can boost some odds if you're taking some things.
Now I was getting, you know, I was getting some small payouts, you know, but $17 on a $25 bet is nothing compared to winning $400 on Kyler Murray going off on week 1.
Right.
So now I am a parlay guy, and you can be too on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Just a reminder, DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want, which sounds like a minor factor, but after dealing with some of the other sportsbook apps, I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate how quickly I get my money from DraftKings.
Yeah,
so.
I use the check option. I actually used the check option
instead of the
PayPal option. Yeah. Sucker showed up in like 2 days. It was fast. It comes on a little cardboard thing so it doesn't get all bent up. No, it was ideal. I honestly loved the way that they handled that whole situation.
Yeah, and I think that's a $15 minimum, I believe.
I'm a 70-year-old. Yeah, I'm a 70-year-old man trapped in a 24-year-old's body.
We know that. We all know that.
I can't. That's too good.
Sorry. But remember, download that DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use our code of PHNX. And if you just bet $1 on any NFL game, remember, 1943 was the last 0-0 tie in the NFL. So there's a good chance you're going to get that $100 in free bets back to you if either team scores a point. 21 and over only. Arizona only. Gambling problem? Dial 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details.
Nicely done, Derek. Nicely done.
Thank you.
You know what it's time for?
What is it time for?
Time for a parlay partay.
Yeah, let's go. Parlay partay.
I love that graphic.
That's a good.
That gets me fired up. That gets me fired up. All right, I'll let you go first. All right, there we go.
There we go. So I have my parlay again, a little conservative. It's the Rams covering the 2-point spread. Stafford taking the over on the 249.5 yards, and then also taking the over for the point total, which when I set my parlay up, it was at 54.5. So it was a plus 330 parlay, which honestly, for some of the parlays I've set up, not as high typically odds wise, but I just felt with these two offenses going into this game that this was a pretty safe conservative parlay versus some of the other things you can go for. Just a reminder, I've seen a couple of things out there on DraftKings that were very tempting, But
There are so many tempting lines.
I have to tell you, sometimes you just got to take a look before you think something sounds too good. I've taken a lot of rushing yards for Kyler this season, and I've
Yeah,
missed almost every single one of those bets.
right.
Wilson and Murray are both the same way, where they're going to get rushing yards, they're going to do stuff with their legs, but for the most part, they're still going to be focused on passing. So DraftKings had a 50 plus rushing yards and one rushing or receiving touchdown scored by Wilson for 50 plus 1500. And man,
Oof.
I stared at that for too
Oof.
long. But then sometimes you just got to be factual, right? I looked at Russell Wilson's numbers this season, and he has not surpassed 26 rushing yards in a game. And with what you said about the offensive line and the defensive line for the Rams, I don't see him doing it on this game. So I'm steering clear of any kind of 50 plus rushing yard parlays or bets
Yeah,
with
it's
Russell
tough.
Wilson.
It's tough. But I like those. I kind of went a different direction. You took some of the spread, the spread and the over under and all that
Yeah,
good stuff. I went really specific with mine today, actually. I took DK as an anytime touchdown scorer. He scored 3 touchdowns in his last 4 weeks.
that's a good one.
Russ loves to look his way in the red zone. I mean, why would you not? He's
Why
what,
would you not?
6 foot? He's basically the second coming of Megatron, in my
Yeah.
opinion, in the NFL. Built exactly like he was, and so I think Russ really looks his direction when he's looking toward the end zone, unless they're about 70 yards out and then Tyler Lockett's the guy. But so I took a DK anytime touchdown score. I have Russ over 24.5 rushing yards tonight. I thought that was maybe my safest pick if you're not looking to go for a same game parlay. Their offensive line, like I said, is questionable. Aaron Donald is going to be in the backfield a lot. I feel like Russ just has one of those games where if he's got to move the sticks, if he's looking to get, move downfield, keep the drive alive, he's going to be using his legs quite a bit tonight.
He might need to run for his life.
Yeah, he's going to run for his life. And, honestly, I would run for my life as well if I had Aaron Donald chasing me down.
Yeah.
And then my last pick, I have Cooper Kupp over 89.5 receiving yards. That's a tougher one, but the Stafford Kupp connection has looked really solid, and Seattle's secondary is pretty much nowhere to be found. So I really thought that was a safe pick there. The odds on this parlay was plus 550. So you could make a pretty decent return if you were to put down $25.
Yeah, I like it. I will say DK had a promotion for Stafford and Wilson combining for over 600 passing yards at plus 200 with an odds boost. I really like that, by the way. I don't know. I
those
feel
are
like
good odds.
I feel like that doesn't require one quarterback or both of them necessarily to do a lot, with it being 600 passing for both of them. One guy could have a great day and the other guy kind of do what he normally does, and there's a good chance you're going to hit that 600 plus passing yards.
Yeah, Derek, thanks for blessing me with your sweet voice and your sweet picks. Remember, bet safely, bet on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download today using the code PHNX, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy, guys.